Hello, my name is Mary, and I'd like to introduce you to Joan. In 1958, Joan attended Smith College. Joan is a writer, and a writer must write. Joan Archer was born in approximately 1940. In 1958, she attended Smith College, Northampton, Massachusetts. Smith College is a private women's college, and she was dormed in the Northrop House. A promising writer and shy and quiet, she was raised in a patriarchal society. She as a writer showed promise. Her professor, who not only recognized her work, seduced her by admiring her work and later by sexing her. He showed the male dominance by inviting her to his office and taking advantage of her. He maintained control of her curiosity in writing by introducing her to older female alumni that had been chided by the same industry. He wanted to keep her demure and innocent. At the same time, he wanted influences on her that would keep her primarily by his side. The author, the professor, Joseph writes flat, one-dimensional characters, and this is recognized by his family and other critics of his writing. She, however, is a very good writer. He notices or picks up on the fact that she is able to create very three-dimensional characters. However, when he introduces her to bystanders as his wife later, he indicates that she doesn't write and states, "Thank God." He's able to construct her as a character much like the ones that he writes, keeping her quiet and demure. He refers to her as the love of his life, yet offers no hint of her talent or of their shared work. She, as a writer, must write, and knowing that, she does so in order to propel him into into a writing career, giving up her name as her own and becoming his ghostwriter. She edits his work and she rewrites his work. He becomes the house husband and she becomes the closeted writer. He wins the Nobel Prize for Literature. In 1992, still under the dominant influence of her husband, she is actually rewarded the Nobel Prize via her husband. He, however, will not divulge to anyone that she is the writer, so he takes credit for her work and she stays quiet. He is also a philanderer. He cannot keep his social life at bay because he is a very indiscreet man. And this is something she's unaware of, that anyone else knows of his lifestyle. In Stockholm, she's patronized. She is introduced as the quiet and demure wife, the one with no skill, and she is also told that she can go to the spa or she can go shopping. She is shown to be a lesser woman when in fact she is the actual laureate. She is starting to recognize her husband's narcissism, and although she is unable to voice her disdain, she is becoming empowered by what she sees in his behaviors. The biographer Nathaniel woos her. He invites her for a drink in the hotel bar, taking her away from her husband's purview. He gets her to smoke a cigarette and confesses that he's aware of Joe Castleman's lurid life, something that she was hoping that others were unaware of. He suspects that she is her husband's ghostwriter, although she keeps that secret close to her. You can tell that it is starting to bother her. And at this point, she is better at deflecting the male dominance, which she does to the biographer. She tells him she has nothing to say about the book writing. I included what was happening in between the time frames of 1958 and 1964. And as you can see, most of the books that were written during the time frame are written by men. Now, this doesn't mean that women weren't writing books. It just means that women's work wasn't being as acknowledged up until 1964. After that, there are a few more women writers. However, it is still a man's world. Joseph at this point is heralded, and Joan divulges through her stream of consciousness that she's had enough and she's going to divorce her husband. The author of the body of the work that her husband is taking advantage of is a strong woman character, and therefore the women that he meets admire him for his type of work. Unbeknownst to them, it is not a man's work, it is a woman's work. And therefore, when Joan is prepared to leave him, he who has been living a lifestyle farce of philandering, rich foods, rich drink, has had heart issues, and subsequently, at the end, has a heart attack. This character is a fictional character written in a book, in a movie called The Wife. I highly recommend you read this body of work. Glenn Close plays the actress in the movie. It's a very interesting movie, and it is a very clear example of what women had to deal with in the early 1950s to the early 1960s, and even throughout, as the story here ends in 1992. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great evening. I include the citation page, and this includes the video, and it also includes the information from the book that we're reading and the information regarding the books through babyboomers.com.